Hello friends, it's Nikki and welcome back to my messy bookshelf. Today I'm here with my weekly reading wrap-up, and it was a very good reading week this week. Did finish something, I started some other things, and yeah, we'll just get into it. Um, so finally, I finished this chunker of a book, which qualifies for Big Book Summer, of course, but it was also a buddy read. I finished Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, and I am slightly hungover from this book. I had no expectations going into this book. I really didn't have high hopes for it. I am not someone who reads a lot of westerns. This is exactly my second western, and I couldn't understand why people were raving about this book the way that they did. And the only people I know and trust their opinions that had anything negative to say about it were a very small handful of people. And so I was a little nervous going into this book. And I know I've been talking about it for like 2 or 3 weeks, but yes, I did finish this book. And I fell in love. I fell in love, and I am happy to report that I think that I love it just as much as the people who have been raving about this book. I quite honestly fell in love. The adventure, I loved the writing, I adored the characters in this book. There were some, there was a motley crew of characters in this book, but I fell in love with the friendship and the dynamic between some of our main characters. And we met so many characters in this book, and I had feelings about all of them. So, yes, when I put this book down, I did not know what I wanted to do with myself. I really did not. And that is the reason why, in case you saw my August TBR video, I had to ask my daughter for help because I honestly did not know what I was in the mood for. I am considering reading the other books in this series, or at least one or two of the others. I don't know how many books are in the series, but my goodness, it was wonderful. I cried. I cried a lot during one specific part, and yeah, it's just a brutal time. It's epic. It was epic, and I loved it. I loved this book. Contender for top 10 of this year for sure. For sure. And yes, I just have no words. I have no words to tell you how much I loved this book. I did not want to put it down. And so other things of mine suffered, but that's okay because I had a wonderful reading experience with this book. And I did buddy read this with a subscriber of mine, and yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but okay, moving on. I did finish a couple of short things, but I will move on to what I am currently working on. So, I did start reading Pride and Prejudice for Jane Austen July in Spanish, and I did mention I may not finish it. This is a reread. I can't even tell you what number reread this is for me, but I have never read it in Spanish. And so it has been slow going, but I am on chapter 11 of Pride and Prejudice. And I'm really enjoying it. It's just very slow for me to read in Spanish. Some of the language is a little bit archaic, and I have had to look up several words, but it is just as funny in Spanish as it is in English. Um, Originally, I said I wasn't going to continue, but as of right now, I kind of want to. So I am not sure. I'm going to continue for now, but I am not pressuring myself to finish this in lieu of the other things that I am working on at the same time. I did start a book that I picked up recently, and that's Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and having read another book I've mentioned a few times on this channel, having read The Blue Stockings back in April, I heard a lot of people talking about this book, saying it was better, and it was about the same thing. And it's about the women writers who inspired Jane Austen herself. And I started it, you know, again, not expecting anything too much, and so far I'm loving it. I am only on chapter 2, but I plan to continue this one, and I don't think I've had a nonfiction for a while, at least since April or May. And so, yeah, really enjoying this. It's been nice to get to see some of the characters that I was introduced to in the Blue Stockings. And yes, I guess the conversational style in here is more enjoyable, and she's going into more depth on each of these women. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I am learning a lot about Frances Burney right now. And I learned some details about Jane Austen herself that I did not know. So I will continue this. This will be a carryover. This is a maybe carryover. I'm still not sure. But we'll for certain be carrying this over into August. And what else have I been working on? For Audiomiles, I did make progress with our group read. That was a July and August group read, and I have made it to 38% in that. I finally had a day where I was able to get outside for a walk for a couple of miles, and I am at 38% with that. And that book, I recommend it. It's a little bit different than what I expected. It is a thriller, and yeah, there is a very small town that has a pretty heinous crime take place, and the main character is acquainted with pretty much everyone in town. And her father is the sheriff, and she is an officer or a detective. And yeah, we're meeting quite a few characters, but they're all from the same small town. And this crime has happened. I thought that this crime was going to be for the whole book, but it turns out we have more crimes to uncover in this small town. So, really enjoying this one so far. And I cannot wait until I am able to get outside again. I did read an essay in school by Dorothy Sayers called The Lost Tools of Learning, which was excellent. I read it last week and I read it again this week because I plan to use it for a paper. And it's all about how modern education is sort of failing in comparison to the classic way of education, or the classic way of educating our youth, the trivium and all of that. So, really enjoyed that. It was very thought provoking. And yeah, I think I may have mentioned it when I read it the first time, but I did read it again for a paper this week. And then today was the first day of short story summer. I am toying with the idea of making a short for every day that I read a short story, because I am going for all days in August reading a short story. And so I did actually make it through my first short story, and I asked my wonderful co-host for a recommendation for a book with a child protagonist, because I have our board here. I need to print out another one without this pop-up. But I didn't know what I was going to read for child protagonist. Hello, Bella.
Me, she's talking about me.
A child protagonist. And so I did get a bunch of recommendations, and I just so happened to have this collection of short stories by William Faulkner. And so I read Barn Burning by William Faulkner. And let me tell you, this was the first thing I've ever read by Faulkner, and it was intense. It was intense. I have heard that he has a very Southern Gothic style of writing. And yeah, there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of tension leading up to the events that took place. And yes, there is a child protagonist. And it is a story about revenge. It is a story about racial inequality, class inequality, and, an unhinged person's desire for revenge. So I really enjoyed it more than I expected to. Though I will caution that there is some very strong language in the racial department. So that was a little bit jarring when I read that for the first time. Okay, so I did check off my first one here. And then I forgot to mention Lonesome Dove was one of my books for 50 before 50, so I did check that one off. So I have read 5 books on my 50 before 50 list. So I am very excited about that. Moving on, I am participating in excuse me. I am participating in Women in Translation Month. And this is one of the books that my daughter actually picked out of my makeshift TBR jar last week. And I am going to be reading Her Mother's Mother's Mother and Her Daughters by Maria Jose Silveira. And this is a history of Brazil told through a family of women over 500 years. So it starts in the year 1500 and goes all the way to 2001. So it starts with the colonization of Brazil by the Portuguese. And this is translated by the Portuguese by Eric Becker. I love a good family saga. I saw this on another booktuber's channel. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the channel Widely Reading. And immediately knew I wanted to read that, so this was one of my possibilities for Women in Translation. But this is the one I will be reading, but I have not started it yet. It is August 1st today. So we'll be starting that. And then for fiction, I am very excited. Also, I will be reading Whistler by Anne Patchett. And I already have my bookmark in here. I am ready to get going with this book.
Because I chose it.
Yes, you did. You did a very good job choosing my books from the little jar. And then, yeah, so that's what I plan on reading next. I have a possible buddy read lined up with Melly from Melly in the Margins, which I am very excited about. And yeah, so I have the carryovers. I have Whistler and Her Mother's Mother's Mother. And then also I will be carrying over War and Peace. But I have decided I will not bore you by talking about this every single week until I am done with this book. So this is going to be continued until Labor Day. And I anticipate finishing on time by Labor Day. And yeah, that's it. Oh, and then Booktube Quest. I did find 2 more prompts for Booktube Quest. So I found a Green Man portrait available. So the 4 of us, or 5, Lauren and Ben, we always count them as one, but they are 2 people. So the 4 of us co-hosts, I did it again. The 5 of us co-hosts, we each had a specific prompt that you might only find those prompts in our videos, and then the rest were generic because we wanted to see other channels where you found these prompts. So for the Green Man portrait, I did see that in Jessica's video recently. So I will not say which video it was, but there is literally a portrait of a green man in the background. And then a statue or a bust is visible. I did see that on Jenny Jabel's channel. And yeah, I will put the channels below and, making progress here. And I still have till the end of August. So, filling out my little bingo board here. And yeah, you still have time to participate if you would like to. And in our announcement videos, we do have the downloadable um, board for you to try. But that is what has been going on here and what my immediate plans are for reading. And yeah, I thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.